What's up, YouTube? So Oscar and I are here from Y-Plate and SV Performance, and we are talking to you today about the upcoming trip that we have, Driftweek 3. And let me tell you, it is the most miserable and somewhat fun trip to make up for it to be able to do it again. But we are going to go ahead and let it roll and see what happens on this next trip. Luckily for us it's going to be mostly in the Pacific Northwest, so it's a lot of tracks that we've already been to, and it's not as much distance. So I know if you watched before, we did from Arizona, well, I mean, we did start here in Portland, but Arizona to Florida and back, and I cannot express it enough that it was so tiring and so hard that by the time we got home, I mean, we must have slept like 2 days straight, right?
Yeah, that and the weather changed so drastically between the different states.
Oh yeah, it was hot like the whole time. And I remember very specifically, I asked Aaron, I'm like, okay, I don't normally travel to these states in the wintertime, what's it like? And he's like, no, long sleeve and pants. I'm like, cool. So I packed pretty much all long sleeve and pants, yet I brought 2 pair of shorts just because I knew Florida was hot. Well, it ended up that I wore those same 2 pair of shorts the whole trip and had to keep washing them consistently because it was just muggy hot, especially like New Orleans. I don't know how you guys survive down there. Anyways, super excited. We're going to be going again here in about a week. We've got a lot of guys showing up here to the shop. We're going to do a little kickoff party here and then head out to our first track, which is going to be Villains in Walla Walla. Lucky for us, it was about a 4-hour drive. Yeah, not too bad. But we do have a little bit of a wrench in the plan that we just found out. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. But first, Oscar's going to talk about the changes that we made to the car this year in regards to actually running Pro-Am. And since Pro-Am's right in the middle of this, we're going to be running the same setup for Driftweek.
So a couple of changes that we did was we changed the intake manifold to a Plasma Man brand. We put the 1700cc injectors back in, and then doing a ethanol and pump tune. We did a tube front just to kind of make everything tighter and cleaner.
Let's not forget it's powder coated orange.
Yeah. The other things that we did was the fix rear arms, you know, do a fresh alignment and everything. One of the biggest things we did electric water pump and electric power steering, and some oil cooling upgrades just for a safety factor. And we'll be talking about it, you know, more in thorough later on in the video.
So far, I got to do one shakedown at the Ridge this last weekend, and it was kind of nice. Everything seemed to work very well. I got a few little tweaks to make on it before we go to our first round, but luckily, we did go ahead and dyno, and this is the first time that we dynoed on the new engine build right before we went to Driftweek, but on ethanol, and as you can see, I own the leaderboard at 700 horsepower, so that's pretty good. Yeah, we're super excited. So a little bit of the wrench in the plan is Pro-Am initially was supposed to be on April 4th, and we weren't supposed to start Driftweek until the 15th. That got changed, and now Pro-Am Round 1 is on April 17th, which is the first day of Driftweek in Villains. So we're going to be doing the kickoff party here. Oscar, Ian, and I are going to be leaving from here with the trailer, going straight up to Seattle. We're going to run Round 1, and then we're going to leave right away that night and start our misery to Walla Walla, drive one day just to drive back to Seattle the next day to drive there. So it's going to be kind of interesting, and we're going to have to do things on the road because I will have everything on ethanol for Round 1, and then we're going to have to switch to pump while we're at Walla Walla. So it'll be kind of interesting, but it would be really nice to actually get on podium at Seattle before we go into Driftweek. It'd be kind of motivational because, I mean, let me tell you, we need about as much motivation as you can possibly think. So we will be doing probably daily or every 2-day uploads. Realistically, I like to get at least every track with one video, and then we're going to be doing a video for our Pro-Am adventure and then our break off back to Driftweek. So stay tuned to the channel. Check us out. It's going to be really fun, and then we'll be really good about staying religious on our stories. So have a good day, YouTube.